But hope your weekend was a great one. Thanks a lot for being here today. 610-850-0990, the number, 610-850-0990. We're online at 990theanswer.com. So next week also happens to be the primaries here in Pennsylvania, which were moved from where were they originally?
It was in May. I can't remember the exact date.
Well, now you got a primary candidate on the phone here who has probably more than anybody else been agonizing over these. I wonder what it's done to Andy Meehan. Let's bring him in now. He's challenging Brian Fitzpatrick for the Republican nomination to run for Congress and in the 1st congressional district, and joins us now. Hey, Andy. Good morning. Thanks a lot for being here. Hi.
Good morning, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
How about all this moving and shifting around? Has that bothered you or been difficult for your campaign?
Well, it's kind of relegated me to traveling up and down the county of Bucks County with the bullhorn on the top of my car now to get my message out because I can't meet in big public settings like I would like to meet and greet people and kiss babies and shake hands, all the rest. But I think we're making a huge impact, Chris. We're getting there, and I think what's setting up here is going to be probably the biggest upset in the GOP primary since Eric Cantor was taken down by Dave Bratt. Congressman Fitzpatrick has completely alienated the base of his party, most recently with his statement that he is undecided, Chris, on whether to support our friend President Trump for president or his friend Sleepy Joe Biden. So this has put the Bucks County Republican Committee into a tizzy because they're getting calls from all of their committee people saying, what is he doing?
When did he say that? In what context, out of curiosity, for folks that don't know? And by the way, for people listening in who don't know Brian Fitzpatrick, I guess, there are a good number of people who maybe aren't familiar with Brian, or he's not their congressman. They don't know a lot about you or him or that background. Why don't you paint the picture for us?
Yeah, well, you have a very clear choice in the Republican primary in Pennsylvania District 1. Brian Fitzpatrick is an anti-Trumper, a bureaucrat, and I am an independent businessman who supports the president. And Fitzpatrick came out last week with a statement to the Inquirer saying that he's going to wait on the sidelines and see how this campaign unfolds and then make a decision later on as to who he's going to support. It's absolutely ridiculous, and Trump supporters and conservatives are bristling over this, and they can't wait to go to the polls and vote for me.
Now, Andy, look, I am, I got to ask this because it's not me being argumentative or that I even feel this way. It's me being devil's advocate because this is what I'm told about that district all the time. That Brian Fitzpatrick, with just a ton of money, I mean, through every nickel they could gather at that race, won it by a whisker, that this is a district that Republicans can barely hang on to, and that's a Republican who's not in bed with Donald Trump. You, however, have wrapped your arms around Donald Trump. You're running as a hardline conservative, pro-Trump guy. You'll never, ever win that seat. Brian could barely hang on to it being a moderate, is what I'm told. That's the conventional wisdom, so you answer to that.
Yeah, well, that's a bunch of malarkey, Chris, because back on November 5th of last year, if you recall the bloodbath of November 5th, when Republicans lost the entire county because of their poor, failed leadership and running away from the president and his policies that are working, 105,000 Republicans, that's a huge number, stayed home on November 5th because they're uninspired by the lack of leadership, nobody standing up to advocate for our vision. Bucks County is not Barney the Purple Dinosaur just yet. We just have poor leadership, Chris. And the people that are telling you this are the ones responsible for that, and they don't want to take responsibility for it. So what I'm saying is that when you get somebody like me, who is a capitalist and entrepreneur, somebody who advocates for less taxes, less government, all the things that we know work, and run me up against the Democrat, I'm going to win. I'm a better general election candidate because Congressman Fitzpatrick is a Democrat. He does not vote like Republicans. He has told us he doesn't want to be labeled as a Republican. So this is the reason why we're losing, is because we don't have anybody that stands up and leads the charge and convinces people that what we're doing and saying is the best way to go. And he just rolls over and scratches, gets his belly scratched and panders to the left. And this is why Bucks County is being dragged to the other side by Fitzpatrick. It's not the other way around.
Andy Meehan is with us. He's challenging Brian Fitzpatrick next week in the Republican primary for the nomination to go on and run in the general for the 1st congressional district. So you feel, and I just want to be really clear about this because, again, conventional wisdom always holds that a pro-Trump guy cannot bring people over to his side. They will run from you. They will not embrace you. That's the conventional wisdom in Bucks County.
Well, I'm on the ground in Bucks County, and I'm out there every day talking to the voters. And what the president did with the economy that has been tanked by the governor's response here to this COVID emergency is try to take down the most successful economy in the history of the world. And that's what's going on here. And what we need to do is get back to that. We need somebody who's going to support the president in his second term, not to act like Congressman Fitzpatrick, who supported James Comey and the whole Russia hoax for 2 years. He was telling the president to stop attacking the FBI and that James Comey is a man of integrity. So this is what we have with Congressman Fitzpatrick. I'm going to go and be an advocate for all the things that are working that the president was doing. It's not that I don't have a mind of my own. I do, but my mind is very clear and sees that what the president is doing is working, and that the voters of Bucks County are going to say, you know what? We want more of what President Trump was giving us and less of what the bureaucrats in Washington, the big government people like Congressman Fitzpatrick and all the rhinos, Mitt Romney down there. He's the Mitt Romney of the House of Representatives, Chris. There's no doubt about it.
What do you need at this point? How's the campaign looking with a week to go and some change?
The campaign's shaping up really well. We've got a good ground game working. We're going to have excellent coverage of the polls. And I think that that the recent exposure that Congressman Fitzpatrick has been diagnosed with a new infection, Chris, and he has been diagnosed with having the rhinovirus. And so I'm warning everybody out there that there is an antidote to this rhinovirus. You go to the polls on June 2nd, you pull the lever for Andy Meehan, and we take things back here in Bucks County and get back to what we say we all believe in, the values that we stand up for. We get behind our Republican president, and we march onward together.
What do you make of this mail-in ballot push that the Democrats are underway doing in Pennsylvania? Have you seen? I'm sure you've seen the signs. I know they're all over near my house. Vote Democrat, mail-in ballot. What's that about?
Well, it's not just the Democrats, Chris. The Bucks County Republicans are doing the same thing against what the president wants us all to be doing and saying, which is what I agree with. Go out and vote in person at your polling location. Make sure your vote counts. Get out there and do it. Don't respond to this. What they're doing is they send out these sample ballots and flyers to people to tell them who to vote for, because they don't want people finding out who I am and what I'm doing. Because if they walk up to the polls and they see a Meehan supporter there and they find out what I stand for versus what Fitzpatrick stands for, that they're going to vote for me. So this terrifies the establishment.
If people want to get involved with this closing week, want to help, want to donate, what's the best way to do it?
Best way, Chris, is to go to our website, Meehan2020.com, and go hit the Help Andy Win button there. We've got poll workers that we're putting together and organizing right now, and we're going to be turning out in force, and we are motivated and energized. We have all the enthusiasm and energy with our campaign because Bucks County Republicans can probably finally stand up and say, you know what, finally a guy who says what he believes, who's not some bureaucrat to go down there and expand the size of the government and play games like Congressman Fitzpatrick does. He's part of the machinery down there. I'm going down there to make a difference and stand up for what Republicans in Bucks County believe in, and not just Republicans, voters. I'm going to be a great general election candidate because I have a lot of issues on the other side that I'm going to pull from Democrats. The union workers are going to support my candidacy. They already have. They're coming out on it right now. And so we're energized, Chris, and we're going to pull off a big upset here in Bucks County. And the media has completely missed it because they're blackballing me. They don't want to, have my name out there because they've been told that I can't win.
I will say that it's an interesting thing that you have the commissioners of Bucks County seem to be. I mean, they were the earliest, to be honest. And again, I don't know the politics of the county commission there well, but I know that Democrats bucked the governor here a little bit, and I know we're talking about a federal congressional race, not a local race or even a state, Pennsylvania race. But it does seem that Bucks County leadership, even Democrats, want to reopen and get to the business of getting back to business. And yours is certainly one of those messages. That's Andy Meehan, Meehan2020.com.
Well, yeah, Congressman Fitzpatrick has not been vocal and is very weak on this opposing the governor. He does not use the bully pulpit of the congressional seat to advocate for what we believe in. He doesn't stand up for what we believe in. He's one of these no labels, don't call me a Republican types, and that's not what kind of congressman I'm going to be. I'm going to be a vocal advocate for small businesses and strongly coming out against this shutdown, which I have been doing. Congressman Fitzpatrick's been in his campaign bunker since March March 20th, and he's single-handedly going to take on China now and starting a food bank instead of campaigning. So I guess he thinks he's already got this one in the bag, Chris.
Meehan 2020, right?
Meehan2020.com, Chris. That's right.
Meehan2020.com with a week to go. If you're interested in helping Andy, then get out there and support the fella. With 1 week left, I'm sure anything people can do to help would be appreciated at this point, right?
Absolutely, Chris. But we've got all the enthusiasm and energy in this campaign. Nobody is excited to pull the lever for Congressman Fitzpatrick. He is the Mitt Romney of the House, and Republicans have just they're fed up with him.
Andy, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Chris. Have a great day.
You too, and a great week. Andy Meehan there. Meehan2020.com at 7:16. Telephone.
Hi, I'm Andy Meehan, your next congressman from PA District 1. In case you haven't heard, I am doing something that is extremely difficult, but absolutely necessary. I am challenging incumbent Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick for his seat in the June 2nd primary. On the issues, the congressman and I are worlds apart. Fitzpatrick did not vote for President Trump in 2016, has not committed to voting for him in November, and he went so far as to join Nancy Pelosi and the squad to label President Trump as a racist last year. I campaigned for President Trump in 2016. I will support the America First Trump agenda. Fitzpatrick voted for $0 for wall funding, and he supports amnesty for illegal aliens and sanctuary policies. I will vote to fund the wall, and I oppose amnesty and sanctuary policies. Fitzpatrick voted for gun bans and unconstitutional red flag laws, whereas I will vote to preserve our Second Amendment rights. Fitzpatrick voted to give a legal right to biological males to access women-only spaces, such as locker rooms, and to compete against them for athletic scholarships. I believe that women deserve safe places in society and fair competition in sports. Some establishment leaders of the Republican Party believe that you are obligated to support Fitzpatrick out of party loyalty. However, he isn't worthy of that loyalty, as he has not demonstrated it himself, as evidenced by his obstruction of the president and our Republican agenda. As the nominee in November, I will stand by the president and be the ally that he needs in his second term. I will fight for the values that Republicans say they stand for, and will be a fierce opponent of Nancy Pelosi and the radical left socialist agenda that leads down the road to ruin. But I can't do it without your help. Please go to my website, Meehan2020.com, to help me raise the money to win this race. Also, please hit the share button to let your friends and family know how important this race is. I'm Andy Meehan, and I approve this message. Thank you.